What if I told you that two people could earn the exact same salary, work the same job, and live in the same city? Yet 30 years later, one becomes a millionaire while the other is still living paycheck to paycheck. It sounds impossible, but this happens every single day. Meet Jake and Michael. They graduated from college together in Dallas, Texas. Both landed jobs paying $65,000 a year. They rented similar apartments, drove reliable used cars, and dreamed of achieving financial freedom before retirement. At age 25, there was almost no difference between them. But by age 55, Jake had built an investment portfolio worth over $1 million and had the freedom to choose whether he wanted to work. Michael, however, was still worrying about mortgage payments, credit card debt, and whether he would ever be able to retire comfortably. Neither of them won the lottery. Neither inherited a fortune, neither built a billion-dollar company. So what made the difference?
The answer wasn't a single life-changing event. It was a series of small financial decisions that seemed completely ordinary at the time. And that's exactly how ordinary people build extraordinary wealth. Most people believe that becoming wealthy starts with earning a huge salary. That's why so many people spend years chasing promotions, higher-paying jobs, or side hustles. But here's something surprising. Across America, there are doctors, lawyers, and executives earning hundreds of thousands of dollars every year who still struggle financially. At the same time, there are teachers, engineers, firefighters, and office workers quietly building million-dollar portfolios. The biggest difference isn't income, it's behavior. Every paycheck gives you two choices. You can spend your money today, or you can invest it so it can make you more money tomorrow. Most people never realize they're making this choice every single payday. They simply receive a raise and immediately upgrade their lifestyle. They move into a bigger apartment, finance a newer SUV, buy the latest smartphone, eat out more often, and subscribe to even more monthly services. Their income increases, but so do their expenses. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it's one of the biggest reasons people never build wealth. Jake made a different decision. Every time he got a raise, he increased the amount he invested before increasing the amount he spent. Instead of asking, "What can I buy?" he asked himself, "What can this money become?" That one question completely changed his future. Think of every dollar as a tiny employee. If you spend it on something that loses value, that employee quits forever. But if you invest that dollar, it starts working for you. Over time, it earns more money, and those earnings begin working too. Soon, your money has hired an entire team of employees that never ask for weekends off, never complain, and never stop working. That's the power of investing.
This is also why compound growth is often called the eighth wonder of the world. Imagine rolling a small snowball down a snowy hill. At first, it barely grows. It almost feels like nothing is happening. But as it keeps rolling, it collects more snow, grows larger, and starts growing faster all by itself. Investments work exactly the same way. The beginning feels slow, but with enough time, growth becomes incredibly powerful. Unfortunately, most people never experience this because they give up too early. They expect dramatic results within a year or two. When they don't see them, they stop investing. Wealth isn't built in months. It's built over decades. Another mistake Michael made was trying to time the market. Whenever the stock market dropped, he panicked and sold his investments because he was afraid of losing more money. Then, when prices recovered and everyone started talking about investing again, he bought back in at higher prices. He repeated this cycle for years without realizing he was buying high and selling low. Jake ignored the daily headlines. He didn't try to predict recessions or market crashes. Every month, he invested a fixed amount, whether the market was going up or down. He understood that consistency beats perfection. Instead of trying to be smarter than the market, he simply stayed patient. This reveals something important about wealth. Building wealth is less about intelligence and much more about controlling your emotions. The stock market rewards patience, not panic. People often believe successful investors know something everyone else doesn't. In reality, many successful investors simply avoid making emotional decisions.
Here's another lesson that surprises most people. Real wealth is usually invisible. When you see someone driving a brand new luxury SUV or wearing an expensive watch, you're seeing what they spent, not what they own. Wealth isn't measured by expensive purchases. Wealth is measured by the assets quietly growing in the background. Stocks, index funds, retirement accounts, businesses, and real estate. Many of America's millionaires don't look like millionaires at all. They drive practical cars, live below their means, avoid unnecessary debt, and invest consistently year after year. They're not trying to impress strangers. They're buying freedom instead of status. And that's the biggest mindset shift of all. Looking rich and being rich are completely different goals. Looking rich buys attention. Being rich buys choices. It buys peace of mind. It buys time with your family. It buys the freedom to say no to a job you hate and yes to opportunities you love. So what can we learn from Jake and Michael? Extraordinary wealth doesn't require extraordinary talent. It doesn't require perfect timing or a six-figure income. It requires ordinary people making smart decisions consistently for a very long time. Spend less than you earn. Invest before you spend. Avoid lifestyle inflation. Stay patient during market ups and downs. Most importantly, give your money enough time to grow. The next time your paycheck arrives, ask yourself one simple question. Am I spending this money to look wealthy today, or am I investing it so I can actually become wealthy tomorrow? That single question, repeated over years, has the power to completely change your financial future. Because extraordinary wealth isn't built through one massive decision. It's built through thousands of ordinary decisions that almost nobody notices, until one day, everyone